Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We are allowing lawlessness, burning, and destruction of our history, and nobody wants to say this. In this politically correct culture, force is going to be needed, and force by the law must prevail now. Here comes Kate Smith. God bless America. And we need a patriot to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance this morning. Come on, patriots, on a Wednesday. And a good morning to you and yours. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, and Sean running the board. We're going to be off and running here on this Wednesday, June 24th, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with very safe, clean environment and the best in tires. Along with Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Let's go to the phone line right now and check with our patriots for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jerry, God bless you, man. I always can count on you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to make a comment. You know, either our mayors, our governors, our senators, our congressmen, our elected people are going to have to start taking care of this country, or us people that live in this country are going to have to organize and do it for them.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
Absolutely cannot let some weak-kneed traitors, terrorists, destroy our cities, destroy our monuments, and destroy our history. We cannot allow that to happen.
Jerry, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and believe me, I'm on your side. Thank you so much. God bless you. I got to go to the weather forecast, and the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Hello, Roger and the crew. They absolutely get there early in the morning, open the doors, and they've got the best of all the tools and equipment you need for any kind of a task or project. You get a hold of them today, and if you want to ask questions before you drive over there about the equipment you might need, just give them a call. Really nice people. 678-3122. That number again, 678-3122. K&R Rental. Right now, here's Gino with the weather.
Warmer temperatures and sunny skies. Here's a look at your weather forecast for today. It is going to be sunny, and we are expecting a high of 92. Now, if you're going to be working outside and on the blacktop, it's going to be a little bit warmer than that. Not much of a breeze to speak of for tonight. We do have a slight chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies. That means it's going to be muggy out there. Low of about 62, and winds are going to be picking up with this thunderstorm moving through. Winds could gust as high as 22 miles an hour. For tomorrow, 30% chance of rain, showers in the morning hours, partly sunny by the afternoon, high of 85, mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 55. By Friday, sunny skies, high of 87. Saturday, sunny and 92. Sunday, again, slight chance of Rain showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with a high of 78. That's a look at your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
I appreciate it, Gina. Thank you. Right now, outside my studio, I've got 70 degrees already this morning. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. It's on the Burley-Paul Highway. Can't miss it. Great folks helping you with all the tools and equipment you need at K&R Rental. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't forget, too, our dear friends, and they are our dear friends, at Ramsey Heating and Electric. And, boy, they've been in business almost 7 decades of serving you with all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. And right now, with the warmer temperatures, air conditioning units are going to be boom, 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 going, and you'll need the new filters. So they've got all of it at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. The number to call, 678-0459, Ramsey Heating and Electric. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Hey, you know, they want to take these statues down in that statuary hall. How long has Pelosi and Schumer and Nadler and all those career politicians been walking by those statues, and until now they never said a word?
Absolutely.
Do you think it's political?
Oh, Doug, come on. You and I both know that the left is sided with the sleaze and the slime, and the slime is taking over this country. You know, let me ask you a question real quick, and Sean, I got a little bit of feedback coming down the line, if you could, please. I got to ask you this question. How much longer are you willing to let this go as a citizen and as a taxpayer before we, the people, start standing up, banding together, and honestly running the sleaze out of Dodge City? How much longer?
How about yesterday?
There you go.
I've had it with the mob, the minority, the bullies killing us God-fearing patriots, us nationalists, the people that love this country, what to do and what we can say and what we can believe in.
I cannot sit here anymore on this radio program, and I want people to listen to me. You can condemn me if you will. But I can't sit here on this radio program anymore and keep saying with a vanilla attitude, oh, well, it'll get better. Oh, well, they'll go away. Oh, well, it'll all turn out okay. No, it's not going to, because we need to crush the slime that's taking over this country.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I like President Trump's tweet that Twitter is trying to take down that says, anybody disgracing or dishonoring our statues of our military veterans will be met with force.
Doug, what are you going to do? Are you going to walk up to these slimes and they're holding AK-47s, and are you going to say, well, let's all sit down here on the curb and let's talk about how we can all sing Kumbaya together and get along and hold hands going into the sunset? Doug, it's ridiculous. It ain't going to work.
Okay, my question is, what did we do when people were trying to invade our country?
We fought back.
Exactly. Like in Texas, they fought back. Like in the French War, they fought back. I mean, when somebody takes something by force, that is an invasion.
Did you hear this morning, and I told you this on the radio a week ago, I was very concerned about these slimes taking over these various sites, and I said on the air, I think it was about closer to 10 days ago, I said I'm worried about Mount Rushmore. Remember that? I said that in the morning program, the first hour. This morning, the governor of South Dakota was on television, and she is voicing extreme concerns about reports that have been perceived and found out about that there are threats online to take down and destroy and blow up Mount Rushmore.
Exactly, and I like what her reply was to him. It'll never happen on my watch.
Better stop them. They got to be stopped, and I don't care how the word stop is employed. I've got to run. I got another call, Doug, but I so appreciate you kicking things off. Thank you.
Yeah, but if they take things over by force and have arms to protect themselves, then they better be ready to be dodging arms coming back at them to get them out of there.
You got it. I've had enough. I'm fed up, and that's not just theatrics for a talk show, let me tell you that.
Exactly. So, everybody, let's do what we can for our senior centers. I know some of them you can go eat there again. Go support them. Go do what you can, because they suffered through these times where the state only pays them $2 a meal for every meal that they deliver.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
We got to talk further about that after some of this other issue calms down. Doug, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
God bless.
Sean, over at the station, would you please let us hear all about the Silver State Stampede?
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, roars into the Elko County Fairgrounds July 10, 11, and 12. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. The action kicks off Friday evening with a delicious tri-tip dinner for just $10. Old West bronc riding, mutton busting, PRCA rodeo action, and the always popular Ring of Fear. Dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. And on Saturday, show your support with Tough Enough to Wear Pink. Round out the weekend with Family Day Sunday evening. The best family entertainment this side of the Rio Grande. The Silver State Stampede, July 10, 11, and 12 at the Elko County Fairgrounds. The Silver State Stampede will be following all of the Nevada governor's directives, Nevada United Roadmap to Recovery Plan, as well as the CDC guidelines. The safety of everyone is our top priority.
Thank you very much. It's going to be a lot of fun at the Silver State Stampede. Hey, by the way, I got to tell you real quick about Dino's Septic Service. Oh, septic tank pumping, septic tanks and drain fields installed, backhoe services, septic inspections, and they've got a brand new camera to go down the hole and look around and find out what the problem is. Dino's Septic Service. You get a hold of them today, 436-6526 or 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service. They're good. Dino's Septic Service with the big truck that says smells cargo on the way. You get a hold of them today. Caller, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, how do you defeat your enemy if you don't know who the leader is?
Well, we know some of the leaders. One of the vile, disgusting, and pathetic leaders is a man by the name of Shaun King. He is a Black Lives Matter activist, and he's the one that came out and said that images of Jesus and stained glass windows should all be brought down. Churches should be destroyed because they're a sign of white supremacy. I'll tell you, that's one of the guys, Shaun King. That's one name I can highlight right here. I've got it in my hand.
Yes, and I was going to mention that. But there's others that pretty soon they're going to be fighting among themselves. You know, it's like animals. They see a kill and one animal comes and is, you know, he's willing to divide it up, but all these others just come in and just literally destroy any kind of organization whatsoever.
I wouldn't mind at all if they did destroy each other. I wouldn't mind at all. Keith, you're what, 83?
Yes.
Okay. In your 83 years, and God bless you, I respect you, but in your 83 years, honestly, have you ever seen America burning, being looted, and absolutely all the destruction and the theft and the warnings that places like Mount Rushmore and images and statues of George Washington and Jefferson are going to be knocked down, burned, and destroyed? This has got to stop.
Absolutely. And to go back in history, World War II, we knew who was leading the Germans and the Italians and the Japanese. We knew who we were fighting, and we just had to concentrate on each one of those to defeat the thing.
Yeah.
There's several of them that were against us, and we were able to conquer them all when we found out who they were.
Well, I'll tell you what, force is needed. I mean force, F-O-R-C-E. Write it down, folks. I said it. I won't back up. Force is needed, and bloody noses are necessary right now. We've got to stop this insanity and this cancer from growing any further. Keith, I've got to run. I'm a little bit behind. God bless you for your call. Always appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, sir. Don't forget Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair at 635 21st Street in Heyburn. The number to call, 878-4991. Not only will they absolutely help you with the rebuilding of starters and alternators, but the whole business is for sale. That's right. Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair for sale. A turnkey business operation, a turnkey business. Great prospect for you and your future. Get a hold of them today, 878-4991. Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair. Beautiful shop. All the equipment right there for you. 635 21st Street in Heyburn. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244. Do I have another call? I do. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. The only thing these people understand is violence. And I have mentioned this before. We have fairgrounds here in this area. We need to have rallies of people who are sick and tired of putting up with this bull crap and destruction that's been going on for too darn long. You have these guys out there in gangs with all kinds of high-powered weapons. I've seen this happen in different countries. How does it continue to happen here?
Well, you're 100% right. And for the most talk shows are so mamby-pamby PC, they won't come out and say it like it is. Force is needed. This has gone on too long. There has to be force. There has to be billy clubs used. There has to be water cannons. There has to be dogs or whatever force necessary to stop and preserve our country. Not only the churches, but not only the statues, but the absolute meaning of what it means in America. And when you start making threats about Mount Rushmore and other locations, it's time to bring in the dogs and the water cannons. These people have to be put down and put down hard.
We have a bunch of sheep out there that are following these people because they're in fear. And I would like to know who's financing this, which countries are financing this uprising that's going on in our country.
Yeah, we need to find out all this stuff, and really not just a slap on the wrist, but a punch in the nose. This is absolutely disgusting to me to listen to the governor of South Dakota on television this morning, and she was saying that they've received quite a few of the monument threats of Mount Rushmore, and we've seen other statues topple of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. We've seen the desecration of a church. We've seen looting and burning. We last night saw a video of a man standing on the sideline shooting videos of what these creeps were doing, and he was beaten and knocked into submission and has a concussion. This has got to stop, Tony.
Oh, I know it's got to stop. Like I say, we've got fairgrounds here. We've got to bring people together. I don't care if it costs me $10 to get in there to support speakers to come in and get the people riled up, because it's time to put a stop to it.
Absolutely.
We've got no country left.
Well, we're about there. Tony, God bless you. Thank you for your call. Always. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Zeb.
How much more are you going to take, audience? Really, how much more are you going to take? I mean, the cops are being told in various cities, stand down. And if there's a confrontation, run. And if it gets worse, leave the precinct. Oh, good. Historical statues are being demolished. Our history is in ruins. Our beloved flag is burned in the street by these slimes. And then they laugh. Bystanders are beaten and threatened to be killed by the slime, which includes members of Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And these slimes got right into the faces of police. If you didn't see this video, you should look it up. I mean, these slimes, and that's what they are. I have nothing I'm going to change on my verbiage. And spitting on the police. They're less than 3-4 inches away from their face, spitting on the police and calling them pieces of, and you can fill in the blank. And the police, how they kept their composure is beyond me. And then the Slimes are demanding that Columbus, Ohio, change its name. I'm not making this stuff up. Columbus, Ohio. Oh, you got to change the name. We don't like it. All across the United States, the slime is growing. And by the way, to Mr. Crapo, Mr. Risch, Mr. Simpson, and Mr. Fulcher, where are you to be speaking out? Where are you? What are you speaking out about? Really, you should be demanding airtime to condemn what's going on. Gee, I haven't had any calls. Where are these people that we put in office to supposedly help us? Now, you might say, well, it might not be occurring here in Idaho, so it's not any big deal. Oh, really? Really? What about some of the protests in Boise? What about possibly taking down statues up there? What about going into Twin Falls, and if they don't like a certain piece of artwork or whatever, out by the Snake River Canyon or anywhere around the city, knock it down, burn it, destroy it. Then are you going to finally get your ire up? We're a bunch of doggone sheep. Caller, I want to remind everybody about Denny's Restaurant, and they're located at 611 North Overland in Burley, and another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Menu choices that are absolutely delicious. Breakfast, like Deanne loves the strawberry crepes, and they are so good. And, of course, all the breakfast skillets, and then, of course, pancakes, omelets, you name it. Breakfast is a real big meal, along with all the lunch and dinner menu choices and the desserts. All of this with great people serving you at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 North Overland in Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. You know, I'm right there with you. Everything you have said is absolutely true. This country is going to heck in a handbasket. And to the other two callers, they do know who they are. We do know who it is. And what they need to do is let President Trump unleash the dogs. Quit cowering to these lowlives. Quit demoralizing our police force. And they have even started destroying fire engines.
Yeah.
And what's next?
I fear for my son, Donna. I fear for my son. I do.
I know.
And I'll guarantee you I am damn mad because of a lack of response by not only our police through the mayors in the various cities and the governors and city councils and the idiocy of saying, oh, well, we better not have any force because you know what? Force begets force and it'll turn into a mess. Well, we're just going to let these slimes run rampant? Is that what we're going to do?
I hope not. You know, they showed on Hannity last night, and Hannity asked these wannabe thugs, you know, a few questions. They had blocked I can't remember where it was at, but anyway, the newscaster, their affiliate, was talking to these young men, and they were all armed with AR-15s. The one young man had a double-barrel shotgun, and they said if the police show up, they will be asked to leave. If they don't, they'll take care of business. Now, why would anybody allow that to happen?
What does that tell you America is right now? We are in a state of anarchy. We are in a state of absolutely no holds barred, anything goes, do as you wish, destroy what you want, burn what you want, hurt whom you want to, and nobody's going to have anything retroactive against you. We're in a state of anarchy.
We are, and you know, our apparent congressmen and senators,
they're not any good.
Sucking their thumbs underneath their desks.
I'm so fed up with hearing it. I agree with you so much. You know, I would think that Crapo and Risch and Simpson, of course, that's never going to happen. I mean, the sun will turn purple first. And Fulcher and all these people would be outraged and leading the charge to say it better not ever happen here, and here's what we suggest on a national level. Oh, come on, they're not doing a damn thing.
No, they're not doing a dang thing, and they're part of the problem. You know, people need, and we the people are part of the problem too. There are a lot of us like you and I and George and Deanne and, you know, some of your listeners. we're willing to stand up and fight for what we have and for what we're about to lose. But if we don't have the backing, how are we going to get it done?
Yeah, I just cannot believe if this was 30, 40 years ago, Donna, these slimes would absolutely be put in their place immediately.
Oh, in a New York minute.
Thank you for your call. I'm at a point where this talk show, so be it. I mean, I love doing the show. I like creating the news for everybody to understand honestly of what's going on. But I'm going to speak out. Right now, I don't care about tomorrow. I don't care about next week. I'm just saying that these slimes, these cancerous beings that are in our society from sea to shining sea, they've got to be put down, and they've got to be put down hard.
I'm right there with you. And like I said earlier, they need to, Trump is doing his best, but he needs to step it up. And if he has to make an executive order, bring in the military. Let them start popping these little creeps off, and I'll bet you 90% of them are going to turn and run and cry like little damn babies.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm not going to absolutely say anything in deference to what you said, because I agree. It's gone too long. Too many people are suffering, and these slimes have got to be stopped. Thank you so much.
You betcha. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Caller, I'll be right with you, I promise. I want to remind everybody about the 2020 4th of July celebration in Rupert. God bless them for going through with everything. I mean that. The theme this year, Rockin' in the USA, with Grand Marshals Charlie and Lori Creason. I'll tell you, they're going to have a customer appreciation luncheon with PMT, the main sponsor, on June 29th. Then Tuesday, of course, in the morning at 6 o'clock, get up early. Be on the square for the Christmas lighting breakfast. And Wednesday, of course, patriotic programs, great music. Thursday, of course, the 3rd annual Mutton Bustin'. Friday, July 3rd, the Firecracker 500. I wished I was in that. And Saturday, the world-famous parade at the Rupert 4th of July celebration. Don't you miss it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I've been listening about the statues now, and I had a vision of we got to force in this nation, we the people, but especially the veterans, and they've asked them to stay home and lock themselves up and wear a mask. I'd like to invite them out to the statues of their choice in their neighborhood with their lawn chair and their buddies, their fellow veterans, and just keep watch over all these statues and things, and I'll even buy pizza for them.
You know something, sir? You brought tears to my eyes. You did. Because I absolutely agree with everything you said, and I'll help support it. I mean, if there's anything financially I could do, I will help you. That was a great gesture. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Keep me in the loop and let me know what's going on, please. I absolutely appreciate it. You know what? That's true. Our veterans. Let's start with the guys that really have put their life on the line. Our veterans. Let's stand up and support them at those statues. Like I said, you might think, well, it's happening in California. Oh, well, it's happening in Minneapolis. Oh, well, it's happening in New York. Oh, well, it's happening here, there, everywhere. Folks, we're not immune to the problem, for heaven's sakes. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
One of the things about Trump using force is if there is any kind of incident where there is life lost, then it'll all be blamed on him no matter what. This is insanity. And, you say to yourself, how do you have a conspiracy theory this huge? But, the insanity across this nation, even in the world, to get rid of Donald J. Trump, they literally just cannot afford to lose this election, and they were already crazy and saying, at this point, anything to get rid of him, including tear our country down, burn it to the ground.
Randy, I'm going to say this, and I don't give a rip who's offended by it. The election's already rigged. The election is already looking at ways and means through the Democrats and the liberal left to throw the election to Biden and, of course, whoever his running mate is. They're already in the works. This thing is already planned. It's already in concrete. I'm fed up with this attitude of, oh, well, Trump better not do anything because it might affect the election. I hope Trump comes down with an iron hand today. The election be damned. Let's go ahead and stop this vermin and these slimes from taking over America.
Well, it needs to happen, and you say to yourself, see, in these states where there's, I don't know if you hear that scratching sound on the...
I do. Is it your phone? Is it your phone or is it our equipment?
I don't know. I don't want to... I don't know. But you see, it's just... Kristi Noem is a Republican. She's South Dakota. She never shut her state down. She knows how to think on her feet. They will not get into South Dakota. There will be... the troops will... the National Guard will be brought out by Kristi. They tried to go to Coeur d'Alene, and the people up there, the men... were walking downtown. If you've ever been to Coeur d'Alene, there's a downtown area where they were going to go, and the Antifa and Black Lives Matter came in from Washington State, got out of their, their rigs, and we're going to go down and start raising hell, and the free men...
Fast, Randy, fast. Yeah.
Were patrolling the downtown area. They got in their trucks, their buses, their microbuses, and they were left.
Yeah, absolutely.
They knew that they were not going to get her done in Idaho.
Absolutely.
But you see, this is not the case in Boise, where we've got this mayor who is shut down the state. Whatever. I'm not going to get it.
I got to run, Randy, but I hope the line clears up. Thank you very much. I appreciate your call. God bless you. Thank you. I don't know what the fuzz is, but we'll check that out. And we'll take another call quickly. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Zeb. We think, we're in Idaho here. Everything is okay. No. They spray painted part of the Capitol here in Boise.
Yep.
And I don't know who they found, whether they found the perpetrators, but if they do, they've got to make an example of this. It's like President Trump said, 10 years in prison, whatever.
Yeah.
We cannot tolerate this.
I just don't understand. These are like little bitty cancer cells, and they're coming together and creating huge problems all across the country. And when we're talking about the destruction and demolition of our history and monuments of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, these people weren't perfect. Nobody is perfect, for heaven's sakes. But they were the fathers of our country, and they absolutely helped build this great United States. And now we're going to hide it, bury it, destroy it? Are you kidding me? I'm incensed by this.
Can you imagine going back in history and when they unveiled these statues and that sort of thing, the people there, how their hearts swelled because this person was revered by most of the United States. And doggone it, let's leave things the way they should be.
Absolutely. Keith, I appreciate you calling back. Thank you very much. We got to pay some bills here real quick, and I don't know about that. If anybody else is noticing that fuzz on the line, equipment problems again, maybe, but we'll check it out. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Napa location. Their inventory includes all the Bobcats, all the shapes and sizes, all the trenchers, all the scissor lifts. They've got it all, along with the Doosan wheel loaders and excavators for all the lift and dig and pushing and carrying jobs that you need to have accomplished. I mean, all you got to do is find out about their great financing programs, their great lease programs, and they'll even teach you how to run the equipment at Barry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. I'm not going to weaken on this. I don't think anybody should. We should be making demands of all our politicians, that this has got to stop. All across the United States, this slime is growing. Salt Lake City, Bozeman, Montana. You name a city or a town, and you can see the slime starting in those respective areas. It's got to stop. And then, of course, I got to tell you this. We have the insidious, evil group of Black Lives Matter. And one of the stories that I've been following, and this just absolutely infuriates me because it has all the shades of Jesse Smollett. Remember him? Lied? Fictitious crime? Well, black NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace said, "Oh, I found a noose in the garage. Oh, my goodness, that's terrible." Wait a minute. The FBI, 15 FBI members, had a thorough investigation of the noose that was supposedly put in the garage in the portion that was controlled by Bubba Wallace's race car team. It wasn't a noose. No, it wasn't a noose at all. What it was a garage door pull. I've got one on my garage. I've got one on the camper door of my pickup. When it opens up, it goes way up to where I can't reach it, so I put a little pull on that. That's exactly what it was. It wasn't a noose at all. And all this, oh, the Black Lives Matter picked up on this. Oh, my goodness sakes, here's a race car driver, and somebody threatened him with a horrendous noose, and it went on in the news, and it was a lie. It was absolutely a hoax. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. They've got a photo of that so-called noose in October of last year.
I know it.
He's the new Jesse Smollett.
You know, look what the destruction was on account of that. Oh, my goodness, NASCAR said, we're going to find the culprit, and they're going to be expelled from NASCAR, and anybody connected with them, we're going to demand prison sentences and everything else. They'll never have anything to do with NASCAR again. And then Black Lives Matter picked up the football and ran down the field, and more of the riots and more of the insanity was because of this so-called noose, and there wasn't one.
Well, it was tied kind of strange, but it was up in October of last year. There is a photo of it from the FBI. Shows a photo of it in October last year, and nobody said anything until now.
Not a single word. And isn't it interesting how all of this is coming up now?
Exactly. They're hypocritical is showing. I mean, they only say things when they think it will advantage them politically.
You know, Doug, really, I think the world and all of you and your wife. And I think the world and all of my friends, and I pray every night for my friends and their health and their welfare. But boy, now when you get on bended knee at night before you go to bed and you got your prayers, you got to pray that when you wake up in the morning, your town, your community, your friends, your neighbors, they're all going to be intact and healthy because of the slime that's across the country.
Exactly. We are so blessed to live in such a small community that we don't have that per se. I mean, so rapid. There is a few out there, but they know their place. They know if they step up, they're going to be taken down.
You know, though, Doug, I wonder if they will be. The way things are going, I just wonder if we haven't reached the point of political correctness where evil is going to be allowed to go untouched and unscathed.
Exactly. And the definition of political correctness is eliminating the First Amendment, your free speech.
There you go. There you go. Thanks, Doug. As always, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Caller, I'll be right there. I want to remind everybody on Mondays at 8:30, we give away a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox. Oh, these are wonderful people. Great bakery, great restaurant right on the square in Rupert. I urge you to not only try to win the cookies on Mondays, but stop in and enjoy a great meal at Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. And don't forget, they've got a wonderful bakery at Sophie's Chatterbox, bit my tongue. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You know, growing up back east, when I was young, I had gone to a gang, and I found out one thing. Either you stand up to anybody else, otherwise you're done.
Yep.
And even the ones that are up against you have no respect for you because you did not stand up to them.
Tony, let me ask you, and I know that you're a man that doesn't put up with, let's just call it what it is, a lot of garbage in our society. If you had the opportunity, and I mean this when I ask you this, what would you do today? I mean, how are we going to stop this slime? Because it's gone on way too long.
When you try to do something alone in a situation like this, you're going to get run over. No question about it. This is why I keep bringing out the thing about having get-togethers at some of our local fairgrounds to get people energized, bring people together. Right now, people are standing at home. They're all by themselves, and they're alone. You get nothing done.
Yeah.
You got to go at it with a gang. You got to get people energized. You got to get them ticked off enough to say, hey, our community is down. You know, I've been in Twin Falls 20 years. You know, I'm beginning to see a change down here. And I don't like what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Well, you can see it in the demeanor of attitude towards political correctness. You can see it in the demeanor of the writing of the local newspaper, the Times News, a very liberalized source where they give more credence to Black Lives Matter than they would to the people that really, really matter. I just absolutely am very concerned and worried about where we're headed if we don't stop this problem now. I mean, Tony, I've been to Mount Rushmore. I've been to the monuments back east. I've seen them. I've appreciated them. I absolutely, when I look at the flag, I see the flag that is of a country that has offered me so many opportunities. And then to see these slimes tear it apart, it just makes me furious.
Well, you know where we're at right now? Right now, we're a bunch of disorganized sheep. We've got to become wolves.
I agree.
Do the attacking.
I agree.
And people can't do it alone from their living rooms. They have to come together.
I agree. Tony, God bless you, man. Thanks so much. You and Mary, be safe, be well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm frustrated this morning, folks. I just hope you're as frustrated as I am. This has got to stop. I mean, this has absolutely got to stop. The absolutely insane and not worthy at all mayor of Seattle, Jenny Durkan, and the absolutely out of his mind, out of his league, Governor Jay Inslee of the state of Washington. I mean, people like that, they have to go by the wayside. They have to. Weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup and her staff, always working hard for your hearing health. I urge you to call and make an appointment. They're located right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to call, 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. The best of hearing health for you from Mount Harrison Audiology. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Warmer temperatures and sunny skies. Here's a look at your weather forecast for today. It is going to be sunny, and we are expecting a high of 92. Now, if you're going to be working outside and on the blacktop, it's going to be a little bit warmer than that. Not much of a breeze to speak for tonight. We do have a slight chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies. That means it's going to be muggy out there. Low of about 62, and winds are going to be picking up with this thunderstorm moving through. Winds could gust as high as 22 miles an hour. For tomorrow, 30% chance of rain showers in the morning hours, partly sunny by the afternoon, high of 85. Mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 55. By Friday, sunny skies, high of 87. Saturday, sunny and 92. Sunday, again, slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with a high of 78. That's a look at your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to everybody by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, always committed to providing expert diagnostic testing combined with the best technology for your hearing health. Call them, make an appointment, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology. I've got time for some more calls. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Thank you, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Is that me?
Yes, Joe. Go ahead.
The Burley Senior Center is open for people to come in and have lunch. Today we're going to have chicken Alfredo and strawberries. Meals to take out are available if you just come and tell them that you need one. Thanks, Seb.
Joe, you're always welcome on this show. Thank you. On behalf of the Senior Center on Overland, they are open and serving lunch today. Joe's the biggest cheerleader for that operation, and we appreciate it. Joe Taylor, God bless you, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There was another story in the news this morning that I picked up on. It kind of perked my ears up a little bit. You know, Barron Trump is a young man. My goodness, has he grown? He's got to be at least 6'5" right now. He looks huge. Some of the so-called comedians, and I use the term so-called comedians because they're not funny and they're absolutely derelict in their duty of trying to be funny, have gone after and singled out Barron Trump with very dirty, nasty comments. And you got to say to yourself, that's completely out of bounds. Nobody did that to the Obama children. Why are they doing it now to Barron Trump, son of our president? It's absolutely sleazy. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again, Zeb. You know, we see these trains come into Burley every day, and they got murals painted on every railroad car. Now, somebody has done that somewhere, but let's just say here in Burley, if you've seen someone painting that on there and you called the police and they arrested them, what would be the penalty? It would probably be destruction of private property or something like that, and they will pay a fine and maybe be put on probation. We need to get serious.
Well, I'm not gonna turn the conversation this hour into the graffiti or the penalization for graffiti, but I will say I agree with you. The problem is with the law today and the way the law is constructed or misconstructed is the fact that it's nothing more than a slap on the hands, and it's kind of a turnstile judicial system. You're here, you're not going to be there in 5 minutes, and you're going to be out on the streets in 10. This is absolutely insane. And for these people that are destroying the monuments, I hope they follow through. I mean this when I say this. A minimum of 10 years. I'd like to see them stuck in a pit with bread and water. I've had enough of the way America is being destroyed. And believe me, I know you have, and all my listeners. It's got to stop, Keith. I don't care what kind of destruction it is. Graffiti, whether it's burning, whether it's looting, whether it's beating people. It's got to stop.
You know this. Right downtown Burley by City Hall is this beautiful park, and it has got flowers and and everything, and I don't know how many statues they've got there, but it's just be such a crime to see these things destroyed.
Absolutely.
For no reason at all.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. And I think we've got to coin a phrase from the comedy Andy of Mayberry with Barney Fife. You got to nip it in the bud. Well, right now it's got to be nipped in the bud, and it's got to be done with force. Thank you very much for your call. I appreciate it. Thank you. Coming up next hour, we've got Dave Bego, and we're going to be talking to him about this same problem. But I just want to leave you with the fact of, again, going to our national representation. Crapo and Risch and Simpson and Fulcher, they should be standing up and leading the charge for a much tougher stance on what's going on and following through. You can't continue to let these people, I hate to use the word people, they're nothing more than slime, absolutely rule and wreck America. It's got to stop. It has got to stop. We're going to take a little break right now, send it back over to our main studio. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Don't go away. And welcome back. Hour number 2 on this Wednesday, June 24th, and brought to you by, of course, our major sponsors, Zebeth Ranch and your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with a very safe, clean environment and the best in tires. Along with our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And our good friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now it's time to hear a good word about our friends at Western Waste.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're all at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this free land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, you know, they've got all the porta potties. I want to stress the fact that a lot of company picnics and parties, graduation parties, etc., you might need the facilities of a porta potty, so be sure and give them a call. They've got a wide array ready to be serving you, Western Waste Services. Just give them a call, 734-6969. They are always at your disposal, Western Waste Services. I want to remind you, too, about our friends over at Hanson Mortuary. My goodness sakes, Joel Heward and his staff and his family. They serve you and your family in a time of need, a very crucial time of need when there's the passing of a loved one. Always providing the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort. And, you know, you can depend upon them because they always provide the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. They care, and they want to be sure and help you in that time of need. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home in Burley. Quick word for the Silver State Stampede, and then we'll go right to our guest.
Nevada's oldest, the thunder of hooves, the thrill of the crowd, family entertainment at its best when the Silver State Stampede roars into Elko July 10, 11, and 12 at the Elko County Fairgrounds. Bring the family and enjoy 3 big days of PRCA rodeo action, along with the Old West bronc riding, mini bull riding, the Acapa Riders, mutton busting, the world-famous Ring of Fear, and dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. Get your advance tickets today at J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, Roy's, and the Elko Chamber of Commerce. The best in the West is waiting for you at the 2020 Silver State Stampede, July 10, 11, and 12. Don't miss it. For more information, visit us at silverstatestampede.com. Silver State Stampede will be following all of the Nevada governor's directives, Nevada United Roadmap to Recovery Plan, as well as the CDC guidelines. The safety of everyone is our top priority.
Thank you very much. And right now, let's go to the phone line on this Wednesday. And, boy, I tell you what, we need to hear from him today. Maybe he's got some words of wisdom to chime in on what's happening all across America. Dave Bego, Indianapolis, Indiana, how are you?
I'm doing good, Zeb. How you doing?
I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm frustrated, and that's not just talk show theatrics. I'm very worried about our status of our country, the burning, the looting, the destruction, the theft, the beatings. This has got to stop, and it's got to stop now. There's no more negotiating, Dave. It's got to stop now.
Well, I agree, Zeb, and, and some people are calling it now the CATZ, C-A-T-Z, Communist Anarchist Terrorist Zone, and that's what we're seeing in Seattle and other cities across the country, and it's time for the people to wake up what's going on and stand up and have a backbone, and they need to do it now.
Okay, but wait a minute. It's easy to say that, and I'm not criticizing you because we talked about it all this first hour. But force is necessary. I'm not going to sit down and try to negotiate with these slime balls. I don't want to sit down and try to negotiate and sing Kumbaya and build a fire and make chocolate s'mores. They're beyond that. They want to just destroy and hurt people, and they've got to be taken down.
Well, they do, and we need to have our military and police involved and stop these people, and our politicians need to stand up and do it. So does our president, and we need to get it done now.
What's going on in Indiana? I mean, are you hearing anything from your politicians? Are they standing up and saying things? Are they doing something to show that they're proactive and stopping this absolute sleaze from continuing?
Yeah, we do have some here, and of course, we don't have as much of it going on as what you see, and the most of it you see, Zeb, if you step back and think about it, is in the major Democratic cities across the country, like New York and Chicago and Seattle and Los Angeles and places like that, and that's where they really need to stand up. But in other cities that are more conservative, you don't see as much of this going on.
It doesn't make any difference, and I've got a little feedback on the line, Sean, please. It doesn't make any difference if it's here in my area or if it's back there in your area. It doesn't make any difference, Dave, where it is. It's got to stop. Look at what's going on in Seattle, Portland, and now Minneapolis is burning again, and we've got problems in Washington, D.C. with the desecration of a church, and one of the Black Lives Matter spokesmen by the name of Sean King came out day before yesterday and said that we need to have a concentrated effort, they said on behalf of Black Lives Matter, in taking down images of Jesus and smashing stained glass window churches. They want to do away with this. This has gone beyond the pale.
Yes, it has, and there was a gal on TV the other day that for Black Lives Matter that said this is all about, and their goal is to bring down President Trump, and this is what this is all about.
Why, in your opinion, does Black Lives Matter get all the ink, all the TV time as, oh my goodness, what a great group. Oh my, even our local paper was, giving credence to Black Lives Matter. They're a Marxist, communist, very satanic group, and they need to be recognized as such.
It's, Zeb, I've said this many times, the media is controlled by the unions, and they're the ones that are in tune with Black Lives Matters and Antifa and Soros and other things to bring down this country, and that's what it's all about.
The reports this morning about Mount Rushmore really scared me. I've been there, the beauty of it, the beauty of the location, the artwork, and now the governor of South Dakota was on television this morning, and she has had numerous reports of threats online about the possible destruction and total chaos around Mount Rushmore. What does this tell you, Dave? I mean, my goodness, it's not just isolated, it's all over the country.
I know, and it's sad. But Zeb, these people don't like America. And what they don't understand is what America did for everybody and gives everybody the opportunity to do in life. And but they're taking that opportunity the wrong way. They're taking it to bring it down and make us communists because they want to control us. They don't want to have other people helping make decisions and moving up their own way in life, and that they want you to do what they want you to do, period.
So what is the answer? Give me Dave Bego's 7-point bulletin on how we're going to stop this slime.
Well, I don't know that I have 7 points. I think it's very clear and easy. The president's going to really have to stand up and use our military and National Guard and others, and get our police departments involved and stop this stuff. You know, it's like the poor police department. Yeah, there's been some policemen that have done some bad things, but here's the truth about what's going on with the police. The police are controlled by the police unions, and even the heads of the police departments and that, they're controlled, and they don't let them sort out the police that have done bad things and either fire them or get rid of them or take them through a process, because the police unions and all their negotiations, and they stay on top of the local police department, heads of police departments all the time, because they look at them as union members and they want them still to be there and working so that they can get their union dues.
Yeah. Dave, speaking of the police, though, I mean, I'm sure you saw the videos, but here are these slimes walking up to the police and staying about 2 inches away from their face mask and spitting on the police and yelling at them and calling them pieces of, and you can fill in the blank. And these police kept their composure. I don't know how they did, but they kept their composure. This is absolutely outrageous. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, I agree with you, Zeb, and again, I really believe it comes back to the fact that the people that run the police unions and their management and all that, they're controlling not just their members, but also the heads of the police departments who aren't part of the union, and that's the sad thing. And we've got to stop this stuff. And Zeb, it's kind of what's going on behind the scenes too. And I've talked about this. It's been going on for the last 30, 40 years or more. Is that the teachers' unions control the education system, and even though in the past many years we've had charter schools come out, which are not public school systems, because of that, very few, if any of them, have unionized teachers, and they work with these kids and they teach them the right things, and they teach them how to be good people in life and all stuff like that, and really teach them all the different categories in life. I mean, they're very detailed about it. But when you go into the public school systems where the teacher unions are controlling it, they make sure these kids are undereducated and aren't really taught to be good people and good citizens and all that kind of stuff. Because again, Zeb, it all comes back to control.
I couldn't agree more. And then back in your area, you should be very concerned that these slimes are even calling for the change and demanding for the change in the name of the town, Columbus, Ohio. I mean, this idiocy doesn't end, Dave.
I know. They're looking at the whole history thing and saying, we're going to wipe out America from the day it was, this country was, started with Christopher Columbus and all that kind of stuff, and taking down all these statues and everything. They want to wipe out the history because they want it to be all about them. These are egotistical people. They're narcissists, and the American people need to understand that, and our politicians need to understand that, and we need to get our military to stand up.
Absolutely. Dave, we've got a caller with a comment for you. Caller, please, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Comment or question. National parks are federal property, so why is it it be okay for the president to call out the Army and the Navy, the Air Force, Marines to protect those things because they belong to the federal government?
Absolutely, and he can and he will. Where he's having a problem, and I want Dave to chime in just a moment and answer that too, where he's having a big problem is on state and local lands that the governors and the mayors don't do anything.
Yeah, I agree totally with you, Zeb. He can and he will, but his biggest problem is getting state and local governments, city governments, to stand up and do the right thing. But he's putting pressure on them, and I still think in places like Seattle and Chicago, it's like Chicago here the other day, they had 109 shootings overnight or during the day, and 2 or 3 deaths. And of course, this is the same city, a Democratic city, that's standing up and going after police officers and talking about how this country's not doing the right things in that, and that we don't need we need gun control laws, we need to get rid of guns and all that kind of stuff, and the Second Amendment and all that kind of thing. And these people are hypocritical, and we need to stand up.
To the lady that called in, I really appreciate her comment, because there's been things said, and you've heard them, everybody's heard them, that, Trump had better be careful. He better not do anything because, this is an election year in 100+ days. He better watch what baloney. He needs to come down with an iron fist on anything that's connected with the federal government and make his position known once and for all that he's not going to stand for all this violence.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Zeb. And got another call.
Well, we'll take that call quickly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Zeb. Thing that really upsets me, we have all these riots. They go in and they light a few businesses on fire, light some businesses or some street stuff on fire, burn up a few police cars. How come we're not hearing the sentences these crooks are getting once they get caught? Because they take pictures of them. They know who they are.
Well, and I think Dave...
Punished. We should be hearing that. This person got 20 years. This other person got 40 years.
Yeah.
This person got the death sentence. We're not hearing that. I want to know why.
Well, I'm going to have Dave respond, and I think his answer will be the same as mine. Go ahead, Dave. Jerry, thank you for your call. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Well, because of the politics, these people aren't being moved through the system like they should be, and that we got to get back to using our American system from top to bottom, because it does work. Is it perfect? No, but it's done a great job of building the best country in the world, and we got to get back to it. But this is just like going back to Nazi Germany. They want to bring down what we stand for, and this is what it's all about. And people, again, the American people need to stand up.
In accordance with what Jerry was saying, and it's true, we have a turnstile business going on in judicial matters to where you're arrested, you may pay a fine, you may pay bail, but you're out on the street ready to commit the crime in the next 30 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And we've got to get back to enforcing our law and order in this country, and not letting these people continue to move in the direction they're doing. And these are, this is domestic terrorism trying to ruin this country.
I want to ask you about one of the case this morning, and it just absolutely offended me the way it worked out. And it's a Jesse Smollett type case, and it involves the black race car NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace and the so-called noose that was found in his garage. After everything was investigated, the FBI sent 15 people there to do the investigation. Black Lives Matter was up in arms about this and everything. It turned out it wasn't a noose, it was a garage door rope.
Yeah, I know. But they take these things, Zeb, and like I said, I've told you before, I've been through this stuff when we had our battle with the SEIU, and they took all this stuff and they blew it out of proportion and, made lies out of it and everything else. And all they're trying to do is desecrate you and make you look bad and bring you down, and that's what it's all about.
You know, what about the unions in this case that's getting bigger and worse across the country every day? The labor unions, the SEIU, etc. Are they sitting back like Cheshire cats with big smiles on their face? What's going on there?
Oh, no, behind the scenes they're still pushing their membership hard, and, even though their membership has continued to go down over the last 2 to 3 years, and when people laid off behind the scenes, they're going in and enforcing them and telling them you still got to pay your dues money even though you're not working. We want it every month, and they're going after businesses and telling them you need to make sure these people get paid their dues money so we get our dues money, and they're also going after businesses that are not opened up back up again and saying we want to unionize all your people, no election. We just want to do, a card check thing like they tried to do with us. And so all this stuff is going on behind the scenes. They're not sitting back.
Let me ask you this then, Dave. With the unions kind of sitting back and behind the scenes, I shouldn't say they're sitting back, they're proactive, and there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. What would happen, in your opinion, with a presidency of Biden and whomever is vice president? Boy, I mean, the handwriting's on the wall. Things could really get nasty.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get a lot worse because they're pro-union. They talk about all the money that Biden, his campaign, and Democrats are making, and a big percentage of that, a huge percentage of that, is coming from the unions. And that's one of the biggest problems because the unions want to get back in, and they want to start moving back up, force unionizing people, and improve their membership. They're down to about 10% or less of the workers in this country. And before they were, years ago they were 35 to 40%, and that's what this is all about. And they're gonna go after it, and they want Biden to win, and they're going to push him hard. And one of the things that scares me, is Obama kind of getting in. He's doing some things to help Biden and support him, and that is that Biden will just be a face as the face of president. Other people like Obama and whoever's the VP, and that's going to be running the country behind the scenes.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I wish I had more time to visit, but I want to extend to you and your family, stay safe, stay well, and we'll look forward to next Wednesday. Dave Bego, author, great businessman. Thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you, and appreciate you, and stay healthy, too.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Always look forward to Wednesdays with his insight on what's going on. Quite a businessman, big businessman, Dave Bego. Thank you very much. I want to remind you, too, about a great place to eat, and that, of course, is America's Diner. Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. Now you know the location. You know that it's America's Diner. You know that they've got menu choices that'll knock your boots off delicious, whether it's for breakfast or lunch or dinner or all the desserts. You know that they've got the greatest and nicest of people serving you there. Well, then go there. Absolutely. 611 North Overland in Burley, and another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls, Denny's Restaurant, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch, and, of course, America's Diner. Let's not forget, too, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation with our good friend Nick Greenwell, his staff, and all the knowledge with the exercise programs and everything else to get you back after a recuperation from surgery or an accident. They are there to serve you at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. As I said, Nick Greenwell and the rest of the folks over there, all the physical therapists, they know all the exercises. They've got the hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind in this area. I've been in it 1,000 times, and they can help you. Please give them a call at 678-1191. That number again to help you get back to being you, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. A lot of things going on. Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to have Nicole Neely on the telephone with us. But first and foremost, I also want to remind you about Let's Ride. This is a place where the fun is sold. Absolutely. They've got all the side-by-sides. They've got all the four-wheelers, and I mean that all. Have you been over there and looked at that showroom? I do not have any comprehension as to how they got everything in there. It's jam-packed with fun. Located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, let's ride. Monday through Thursday, they're open 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 2, and believe me, a great accessory department and a super service department to keep you running. Those folks really know. Let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Over in that same area, I want to reiterate every day like I do that there is a super insurance agency over there, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24, just as you make the curve going into Rupert. And they're there to serve you with life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and a whole bunch more. They are dedicated, they are devoted, and very accessible to serve you. All you need to do is take it upon yourself to call the number, make an appointment, and they'll serve you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424, Highway 24 in Rupert. Good folks. Let's go to the phone line right now, and we're going to have our next guest, and she is the Speech First president. And free speech is something that seems to be going by the wayside here lately, and she's going to tell us all about her viewpoint. Nicole Neely, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Nicole, I was reading about LSU professor Alyssa Johnson and her colleagues down at Louisiana State University to create a list of students who engage in hate speech. I'm going to let you pick it up from there and tell us the whole story, if you would, please.
Sure. So, yes, this professor, an assistant professor, who is at Louisiana State, which is, let's remember, a public university, which makes her a state employee, felt that Louisiana State had not done enough to stamp out, discourage, punish students that had engaged in wrong things, that had expressed racist things, offensive ideas, in her opinion. And so she tweeted that if the school wouldn't do anything about it, she would. She thought that professors should create and curate a list of students who had said these things, and if any of those students were in her classes, she would drop them. And so, I mean, you know, there are so many things wrong with this and so many unconstitutional things. It's hard to know where to start. But, I mean, you know, can you ever think of a time in American history when blacklists have worked out badly? Because it's, you know, I'm scratching my head here.
You know, let me ask you, who's going to make the definition as to what's hate speech or not?
That is a huge question, and a very important one, because, yeah, who will be making that list? What kind of language is going to be the criteria? What if a comment were to be taken out of context and used against someone? Maybe you were making a joke. Maybe you were talking about a TV show. Maybe you were criticizing. I heard this one person say something horrible, and then you excerpted that horrible thing. You know, there's no appeals process because it's informal. It's terrifying.
You know, how far and how vast and how serious is this problem? We've heard about free speech zones on campus, and there's been fights and there's been pushing and shoving. You can't say that here. You've got to go over behind that row of elm trees and stand there and talk to the squirrels. That's okay, but you can't be here. I mean, in America, are you kidding me?
Right. No, and I mean, you know, with all the protests we've seen over the past few weeks, I mean, I have, working with college students, I've heard for many years now that speech is violence, right? That, you know, you say the wrong thing and you have caused violence. It's aggressive. But most recently, we've heard that silence is also violence. But conversely, actual violence, right? Attacking somebody, attacking a building, punching somebody in the face, that's okay. That's expression. And I kind of feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland. It's through the looking glass.
You know, Nicole, I'm sitting here. I'm an old man. And I've been around the horn once or twice, and I've been all over the United States and, for that matter, many countries in the world. And we're losing it America is losing the value of what over 250 years ago some wise men put together, the greatest Constitution ever on the face of the earth, and every little bit of that Constitution is being hacked away at and chopped away at to where we're losing it. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I think, I talk to some people sometimes and think, what does it matter about free speech on college campuses? And I think, look at what's going on in society right now. Those students who are learning these horrible, illiberal, incorrect, not constitutionally correct interpretations of society, they're graduating, right? They're going out into the world, and they're taking these ideas and these demands with them. I have the right to be free from emotional harm. Hate speech is not protected. I mean, these are wrong, these are dangerous, these are incorrect ideas. And then they get into the workforce, and they vote, and they go and they riot outside buildings. I mean, so I think there are real consequences to not drawing the line and not reminding students and young people what our country is built on and why these values are so important. I mean, free speech was not created to protect rich white people, right? Free speech has been used by disenfranchised groups throughout history to persuade others. Things like Jim Crow, things like women's suffrage, those were considered unwelcome and hateful ideas at one point. But through the use of speech, these groups were able to persuade others of the validity of their position. That's very powerful. And so when you try to shut other people up, I think, do you know what you are doing? You're trampling on all these wonderful traditions that our country is built upon.
My concern goes on and on this problem, and I'll tell you why. I've heard and I've had people on my program that have said that there's going to be the two words they put together in that sentence, going to be a concentrated effort to eliminate and get rid of the Bible that they deem as hate speech. And we've lost it. When we're starting to attack the Bible and God's Word, in my opinion, we've lost it.
Yes, absolutely. Because we are to learn. I'm a little bit speechless. Funny from a free speech person, thinking, how can you can't selectively edit history. You can't selectively edit the Bible. There are lessons, there are parables, there are metaphors, and so once you sanitize everything, once you sanitize history. History has not been all puppies and kittens and ice cream. There have been ugly struggles. We have, as a people, as a country, learned and grown and, refined and improved upon ourselves. This is a work in progress, but this is not something where we can hold the past accountable to the standards of today.
Let me ask you this. When you talk to these people, and I'm sure you have, that want to say, well, you can't say that. No, that's hate speech. No, you can't say that. We can't talk about the LGBTQT, whatever alphabet number or letter you want to assign to them. You can't say that. It's not, it's hate speech. What are they so afraid of? Really, what are they so afraid of?
One argument I've heard is that if I were to say something that would upset you, I would, make fun of your dog or something, and it would cause you stress. Stress is an inflammatory reaction in your body. We hear all the time about how, stress is bad for you and causes heart attacks. So if I have caused you stress, I have created a physiological response. I have harmed you. And so that's why, anything I say that might hurt you, might, make you upset, I have physically attacked you. And so that's why you are then justified in physically attacking me to, punch me in the face to keep me from saying something. And it's so upside down. Violence is what happens when there is no speech, when dialogue breaks down. But shouldn't we, aside from the presumption of goodwill, which seems to have absolutely disappeared from our country, shouldn't we want to persuade others? I remember going to college when I was 18. I didn't know much about anything, but I got to be exposed to new people from different backgrounds, from different perspectives. And, part of the fun of college is having those late-night debates where you discuss everything about the world. But if you are afraid to have those debates, if you are afraid to even, one of my students at the University of Illinois said he was afraid to even ask questions about the LGBT issue that he didn't understand because that was viewed as being hateful. You have to accept the other person's point of view, period, and not question it, or else. And that kind of fear, that kind of chilling is unacceptable, not only on our college campuses, but in our country.
How did this get to the point where it is, Nicole? And I don't mean to paint you into a corner on this, but how did it get to be this way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of a perfect storm. I think there has been a lot of factors that have all converged. One of which is that I don't think our students are very resilient anymore. I think a lot of students have come up. They've always been told they're right. They've always gotten participation trophies. And so if the first time you've ever been told no, or you're wrong, or had your ideas challenged is when you're in college and you're 18 years old, well, yeah, that's going to be an existential crisis. We need people who can roll with the punches, who can, integrate a little bit of constructive criticism and pivot from there. I think, the curriculum is not great. I think students don't have a good understanding of civics, of, the majesty of the American experiment, why the First Amendment is great, why all of our, Bill of Rights and civil rights are great in this country. There's critical race theory and intersectionality, and some of, the actual curriculum being taught in schools is inadequate. And I think, universities have become very corporate. If you look upon students as your customers and parents as your customers, and you have students who are complaining that their feelings have been hurt, then as a corporation, then your solution, the easiest thing I think to do is, well, let's create a department with no hurt feelings. Let's create an office that'll help you deal with that. Rather than saying, toughen up, you're not always right. You're here to learn. You're not here to be coddled. So I think there's a lot of different factors going on that has kind of led to this current moment.
Yeah, but I guess the obvious question at this juncture to you is, how do we turn the bus around before it goes completely over the cliff?
Gosh, I wish I knew that. That's a $64,000 question. I think some of this is, I think parents and alumni have a role to play in demanding better from these institutions. I remember when I looked at colleges, it was, all right, how much is it? What's the scholarship package? Is it in state? Stuff like that. But I think it is really incumbent on families now as they make decisions about, what kind of education will my child be getting? What kind of degree will my child get? Will they be able to use at the end of the day? Where do I want to send my money? College is so expensive now. For the kinds of education that some of these students are receiving, I think it is criminal. And I think alumni need to really examine their alma maters before they start to reflexively give a few $100. Just because you like the football team doesn't mean that that school deserves your money anymore. And so I think we have to start demanding better from our institutions of higher ed. And I think, it might be possibly a silver lining of some of this coronavirus is that a lot of these schools have gotten so inflated and they're so, there's a bubble. But I think they're going to have to start to focus on the basics again. So that's kind of my hope.
Gee, what an interesting concept. Your last couple of words, they're going to have to focus on the basics again? My goodness, what innovative thought.
We can hope.
I guess. We have a caller with a question. Caller, please, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, we're in Idaho, and we think that, we may be the last bastion of normalcy in the country, and even one of our main institutions, Boise State, is being ran by an extreme left-wing liberal president, and it scares me. And you say to yourself, it's happening right here under our noses, where we think that we're actually trying to do a good job, being good parents. Maybe we're naive, but maybe is the rest of the country have good. The silent majority, are they involved? Do they care? Are they good parents? Are they going to monitor their children's education? Are they going to speak out? Are they going to do something, or are they going to just be mum? Because all it takes for evil to flourish is for good men and women to do nothing. I'll hang out.
Respond to the caller, please, Nicole.
I think that's a great point. And with students coming home or having to go home early this semester in March, I think it was a real wake-up call for a lot of parents to see what their students were actually learning, what the classroom discussions were like. I mean, I have talked to more than a few parents who have talked about, do we need to transfer? Do we need to maybe take a gap year? That aside from choosing a school, I think choosing some of the professors is a very important discussion. This is not just, I don't want to take an 8 a.m. class on Friday, but will you actually get a fair shake? And this is not, I don't want conservative students to only take classes from conservative professors. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think we should try to strive to have classes run by teachers that are at least intellectually curious. You know, you believe something, I might not agree with it. Did you back it up with facts? Because there are many professors. Probably the most frequent complaint I get from students is, my teacher is so biased. They give me bad grades if they know my perspective. I have to recite the talking points. I just write the paper the way she wants it so I can get the good grade. So, you know, I do think there are parents who are concerned, but I think a lot of parents haven't known exactly what has been going on at some of these schools. And so I'm going to give parents the benefit of the doubt, but say I think this is time to really examine and demand better.
Is the debate class, the debate club, all of this just a hazard of our times and gone by the wayside forever?
You know, I remember doing high school debate, and I wish it seems like it has. I mean, remember Model UN, and when you have to adopt a perspective maybe that you didn't agree with and have to come up with the best points and defend it. And I think that's a skill that is definitely sorely lacking from today's high school and college students. I would love to see that revived.
On a 1 to 10 scale, Nicole, from what you know and you study and you write about, etc., where are we on the fear scale as far as 1 not being too bad or 10 being really bad, as far as losing our free speech and losing our minds when it comes to our Constitution? Where are we?
You know, when I launched Speech First, I thought, well, I mean, the First Amendment is like the one amendment everybody likes. My husband did the Second Amendment gun case that made it to the Supreme Court. I thought, you know, people like my amendment. They don't like your amendment. And the more I've dug into it, I think, oh, no, we are in trouble. And some of these, I mean, watching some of the protests about how hate speech and offensive speeches should all be banned, I'm kind of more on like a 6, 7. I don't think it's totally gone, but I do think, I mean, you know, there's the quote, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. It is something that I think we need to remind people of the importance of, and we do need to zealously guard. So it is in danger. It's not gone, but I do think it is definitely under siege.
One last thought about Speech First, and you being the president, what basically do you do every day to help get our free speech reestablished?
Sure. So we are a nationwide membership association, and our membership is made up both of students as well as concerned citizens, parents, grandparents, alumni. And the way that we defend student speech rights is through litigation. We sue schools that have violated student speech rights. And we believe that a lot of these schools have policies in the books that, you know, most schools are not, frankly, not dumb enough to just flat out ban Republican speech, conservative speech, religious speech. Instead, what they do is they use weasel words. They'll ban offensive speech or hateful speech, and that gives administrators this huge amount of leeway to pick winners and losers, but it chills students. Students don't know what they can be in trouble for, and so out of an abundance of caution, they just don't talk about things that might be controversial, that might get them in trouble. And that's not a real college experience. And so that's why we sue schools, because I don't think they should have those kinds of broad policies in the books. That's not constitutional at public universities. And so we're going to hold them accountable.
You know, are the bigger colleges and universities, and I'm not naming them to criticize them, but I'm just naming names to see, like your Notre Dames and your USCs or your Harvards, etc. Are they the biggest culprits of really promoting a single speech and nobody can arbitrate?
Well, you know what? Those three are actually, they're private universities. I got my master's degree from Pepperdine, which is a Christian university like Notre Dame. And so they make no bones about, we place the tenets of our faith above all else. You go into that eyes wide open, you know what you're getting. But I have found, I mean, some of the litigation we've filed over the past couple of years has been against University of Texas. I mean, Red State, Texas, University of Illinois, which is my alma mater, University of Michigan. I mean, these are big flagship universities that are treating their students badly. And so, you know, if it goes down at some of these big schools that people pay attention to, what is it like on some of these smaller campuses? And so I think the rot is everywhere. There are problems everywhere. And so it's very much a caveat emptor when families are trying to decide where to send their students.
You are excellent, and I'm so glad that I have the note about Speech First and the president, Nicole Neely. I hope you'll come back in the future. God bless you, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you. Very interesting lady, and I'm going to have her back. She really tells it like it is. Our free speech is not so free anymore. Right now, it's time for the weather. And the weather this hour is brought to us by the professionals. And the professionals are Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. You know, they have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. The best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, financial statement preparation, all of this and so much more at the professionals. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. You've got questions, you've got worries, they've got the answers to help you at 1710 Overland in Burley and 625th Street in Rupert. The professionals, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Warmer temperatures and sunny skies. Here's a look at your weather forecast for today. It is going to be sunny, and we are expecting a high of 92. Now, if you're going to be working outside and on the blacktop, it's going to be a little bit warmer than that. Not much of a breeze to speak of for tonight. We do have a slight chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies. That means it's going to be muggy out there. Low of about 62, and winds are going to be picking up with this thunderstorm moving through. Winds could gust as high as 22 miles an hour. For tomorrow, 30% chance of rain showers in the morning hours, partly sunny by the afternoon, high of 85, mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 55. By Friday, sunny skies, high of 87. Saturday, sunny and 92. Sunday, again, slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with a high of 78. That's a look at your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
And thank you much. And don't forget, you know, our friends, the professionals, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, they can help folks in the agricultural area, manufacturing, food production, and they can help people that are trying to expand their business or maybe change to a corporation. All of this and so much more. Get a hold of them today. They can, and they will help you. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Holy smokes, we got time for maybe another call, so give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Quickly, I'll tell you while I'm waiting for a call, get the frog out of the throat. Patterson's Electronics at 421 East Main in Burley. Curtis and Lorena, and still have time to get in there. And if you're purchasing like a home theater system, video surveillance cameras, television sets, complete sound systems, a portion of your purchase is going to go towards your local favorite charity. And the top two charities, on July 15th, they're going to be named, are going to receive a $500 check from Patterson's. So, boy, these folks are really community-oriented. Help them. Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. And believe me, the number to call, 678-6997, serving you. While we have a little bit of an opportunity, I also want to acknowledge some of the great merchants over in the Rupert area that are going to be helping you celebrate Rupert's 4th of July celebration. And they include Haskins Insurance at 629 Fremont Street in Rupert. Oh, my goodness, they want to wish everybody a great Independence Day, 4th of July. And they thank all their customers for the business they've had for the past 20 years and look forward to serving you in the future. Haskins Insurance Service in Rupert. Dixon Oil Company, 602 South 2nd in Rupert. My goodness sakes, they've been in business a long time, since 1951. And it's a great service station, gas, oil, and propane for heating. Darrell and the crew at Dixon Oil, they wish you and your family a very safe but a lot of fun 4th of July. Haruza Insurance at 723 South 3rd in Rupert. David Haruza. And don't forget, protect what matters most to you with Haruza Insurance. And go to the realwealthmedia.com. Haruza Insurance. David Haruza can serve you. Call the number 436-4420. Last but not least, if you've never been there, you better go. Snyder Surplus Incorporated at 116 South, 200 west of Rupert. I mean, man, every day is a treasure hunt. And when they say that, they're really telling you the truth, because they opened their store at 116 South, 200 west of Rupert. And I'm going to tell you, they have got everything. Ammunition to desks, boots, all the way to MREs. You name it, it's there at Snyder Surplus. Those are a few great businesses, excuse me, that are serving you and welcoming you to Independence Day, 4th of July celebration over in Rupert. All right, time for a call. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Here's what's coming up next hour if I get the frog out of my throat this morning. Ken LaCourte, the founder of LaCourte News, is going to be on our program at 10:06, and he's going to be talking about this cancel culture that's going on all across the United States, where get rid of this, burn this, desecrate that, destroy that. He's going to be talking about that at 10:06, and then I have no idea about what we're going to get into at 10:30 with a lady that has written a book called At Crossroads with Chickens. At Crossroads with Chickens with Tori McCagg. So we're going to be talking to her at 10:30 this morning. All of this and a whole bunch more. Real fast, too, the raffle at the Minidoka County Senior Center. Raffle tickets are available at the center, and they're going to have a draw. Oh, no. Yeah, the drawing is Friday. Friday's the drawing, and raffle tickets are now available at the center. 2 for $1, $5 for 3. They're going to have homemade gift baskets, and the drawing's going to be on this Friday, June 26th at 11 a.m., so don't miss that. That's coming up at the Minidoka County Senior Center. And again, also supporting all of these activities, Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial and Jerry Voss, and we really appreciate all their involvement, trying to garner some more funds for the Senior Center. Well worth the time and effort. Okay, let me see what else have I got cooking here. Tomorrow on the program, and we're not ending right now, I just want to give you a little highlight. We're going to be having again at 10:30 tomorrow, Dr. Gerard Lamero. That man, with his insight about what's going on with the Democratic Party and the demise of the party, and also the problems they're causing with the left across our United States. Can't wait to find out more of what he has to say tomorrow at 10:30. So put that on your calendar. I get more emails and more phone calls. Please have Dr. Gerard Lamero on a frequent basis. So we're trying to get him on and scheduled almost every other week. There you go. Right now, we're going to send it back to our main studios, and then they'll progress on to CBS News. And we'll be back in approximately 7 minutes. More Zeb at the Ranch on a Wednesday. Oh, and here we go. Hour number 3 on this Wednesday, June 24th. Thank you very much for leaving the dial right there. Zeb at the Ranch, and brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with a very safe, clean environment, and, of course, the best in tires. And our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And last but not least, let's not forget our friends also at Greystone Crossing, Senior Living, 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. Seniors, listen to me now. This is a beautiful, brand new 12-bedroom home just right for you. My goodness sakes, all the amenities, 3 meals a day, along with housekeeping and snacks and local transportation. Just a great place to reside with your friends. Absolutely easy to find. It's right there, a mile east of Walmart on Alfresco Road. Don't forget to give Kelly and Matt Wiggins a call. Find out more. Get an appointment to take a tour, 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979. Greystone Crossing Senior Living, 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. And I also want to take just a moment, if I could, to talk about 7K metals with silver purchases that can come right to you right at your home. Don't forget, you can help build yourself your own financial security and your future. And it makes a great savings opportunity with a valued treasure for your family, loved ones in the future. Find out more. Call Lon Hardy at 312-8699 or Sharon at 430-3259. And you can find out, mention my name, please, and they'll help you all they can on silver purchases to help your financial security with 7K metals. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and we have with us the founder of LaCourte News with a motto of news unspun and talk uncensored. He's been on the program with us in the past. Good morning, Ken LaCourte. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you back on the program, and we're going to be discussing an issue this morning that absolutely has got me so worked up and so much in a frenzy today more than yesterday. I'm sick and tired of letting the sleaze and the slime in our society take over, destroy, burn, pillage, and plunder, and absolutely denigrate America. This cancel culture has got to be stopped. How are we going to do it?
You know, I tell you, from the recent, it's obviously gotten worse over the past recent weeks, but, when you watch the FBI send 15 agents out to NASCAR to see if a millionaire driver had a noose put in his garage, and then when you see them tear down statues of American heroes and write "Kill Whitey" at the bottom of them, and there's not a police person to be seen for miles, it certainly makes you scratch your head saying, why is there this now uneven application of justice when these mobs are starting to go out and do things? And we're clearly seeing that, and it's certainly distressing.
Okay.
And that falls into the cancel culture. It's just the more violent end of it.
Ken, how did this problem, how did this cancer, how did it get so big and so out of control, and why did mayors and governors let it?
I think that it actually started probably about 10 years ago, slowly, at the college level. We raised, look, when you and I were kids, they told us not to do drugs and to work hard in school, and those are the people we'd have come and give the big, where they'd pull you all into the room and give you pep talks, don't do drugs. Mm-hmm. That morphed itself into a real anti-bowling culture, which when my children, who are now in their low 20s, were in school, that's kind of all they talked about. It was bowling, bowling, bowling. Well, bullies need to be shut down, and of course the opposite of a bully is a victim. And so you started seeing more of this happen on college campuses where you'd see a conservative come speak, and they would decide he or she was a bully, and they'd light the fires, they'd blow the whistles, they'd bang the drums, they'd chain themselves to prevent people from being heard. And that was something that really took off on the college campuses. And now it's kind of morphed into a broader society. The kids who were 10 years ago lighting fires at Berkeley because Ben Shapiro, some conservative Jewish kid, wanted to go talk, and them calling him nasty names, they're now working in the media and working at YouTube, and they're the ones that are pulling down the president's tweets. They actually pulled down one of the president's tweets today because he said that if they tried to establish an Occupy-free, cop-free zone in Washington, they would be met with force, and that violated their policy promoting violence, as if every law in the United States wasn't backed up by force. I mean, so the president of the United States can't even say, "Hey, we're gonna react with force if you break the law," without some pinheads at Twitter pulling it down to say, "Well, this is a dangerous thing." So, look, we have to fight against it. We have to fight against it on a multiple of levels, and one of that is we need to stop being spectators in this game. We need to when we see people who are targeted for crazy stuff like that, we need to figure out how to help them. And then we need to start fighting back against some of the media and certainly some of the corporations that are playing this part too of leaving a Tucker Carlson show because he's never said anything racist that I've ever heard him say on his show. He's saying interesting things. And when you have AT&T calling him a racist and taking away their advertising, you know, the right's going to have to roll up our sleeves a little bit more and not just be passive. And we have been over the past handful of years.
Ken, while I have you on this program, I want to discuss a little bit, and I've got just a touch of feedback there, Sean, if you could help out, please. I want to talk a little bit about Black Lives Matter and Antifa, two groups that I absolutely despise for what they are and how they were formed. They are Marxists, they are against our Constitution, and one of their spokespeople, Sean King, with Black Lives Matter, now has made and engaged his verbal attack on churches and the images of Jesus Christ, saying they all should come down. What are your responses?
He said it just about the white ones, though. and if you've ever seen if anybody's ever seen a picture of the young man you're talking about, people mocked him for years because he's a black activist, but he is whiter than me, and that's saying something. He actually has the nickname, and conservatives gave him the nickname of Malcolm X. He is so white looking. Look, they're going after the institutions that uphold some traditional values in this country, and you know, it makes sense to say how does a society pass down its values from one generation to another? Now, part of that by grandfathers and fathers and mothers passing their values down to children. Another is people going to church, and whichever denomination that they're looking at and are part of, churches have always been a traditional place to pass down the values of thrift and honesty and being a good person from generation to generation. The Boy Scouts used to do that to some extent. It wasn't just about camping; it was also about being a good person. And then there are other ones. The media certainly passes down values. You know, entertainment does. When you watch a movie, you know, you pick up values and how people are reacting to that. Well, the left has taken over, and then, of course, a big one also is colleges. And the left has taken over most of those. You know, there aren't and should be conservatives in the entertainment world. There should be conservatives, and I say I talk to, you know, I'll talk to a preacher and say, encourage your young people to get into journalism, because we as conservatives have abdicated a few of these major institutions to the left, and if there's no conservatives in journalism except some at Fox News and some on AM radio, that's going to twist America. Same with entertainment, same with a lot of those things. So, look, it's going to have to be hand-to-hand combat, but Republicans and conservatives, in my opinion, really need to look upstream. It's more than just about the battles going on right now. It's the battles that we abdicated because college campuses are run by crazy lefty professors, because the entertainment industry, because the media are all kind of taken over by the left, and Republicans were like, we don't really like them, so we're ignoring them. But they're still powerful institutions that we need to do something about. And you see right now, look, there's a reason why the left wants to trash churches. I mean, literally, they want to take down stained glass. They want churches to come to heel because they realize that that's an institution that they don't control and is promoting values that are not theirs.
You know, Ken, one of the problems, though, and I've said this many, many times on my radio program, is, and I'm not trying to criticize pastors, you know, to the point where they're embarrassed. I'm just saying they need to write more sermons, and they need to stand up at the pulpit, and they need to take a more proactive stance as to the evil that's going on in society. They can't be just taking a blind eye and a deaf ear to what's going on.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% true. And again, what I would really hope that they start doing is looking upstream, looking. You know, Andrew Breitbart, he founded Breitbart News. He was a good friend of mine, and he always made the point early on, before I even got it, of saying, you know, elections aren't about. I mean, elections are happening right now, but they're the result of what was the narrative that was told and the facts that came pouring down from these other institutions. Education, media, and entertainment are the primary ones. Now we can throw in social media is now kind of twisting how people think and pulling down certain thoughts. So, and that's why media like yours is so important, but we need more than just us.
Absolutely. Ken, we have a caller calling in with a question or a comment. Caller, go ahead, please. You're on the air. Please.
Well, I really respected Andrew Breitbart. He was a man who spoke out, was plain-spoken, and I believe his death was no accident, and I didn't know how you felt. But you see, if we don't rise up as good God-fearing, or whether or not you believe in God or not, but just good, responsible, ethical, moral citizens, the void will be taken over by evil. Thank you.
Respond to the caller, please, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, two things. One is I did look into his death, and I do believe he had a heart condition. He had a kind of a hardened valve on that was a genetic thing. But his friends did do a second autopsy just to be sure on something like that. So there's my little insight onto that. But no, I forget who said that. But look, we have been playing by a different rule set than the left has been playing. They've been playing a long game, a little smarter, I think, than conservatives have, and that's what we need. We're good when we're arguing about an election or whatnot. But he's absolutely right. If we just continue to watch and listen, it's going the wrong direction. Vigilance is a price of democracy and freedom, and we all need to fight for that. Some fought for that with their lives overseas, and we need to get in. I have never been more disappointed. I live near the San Francisco area, which is a little bit different from Idaho. And
a little bit.
Emails to my Idaho friends saying, what's the weather like there? How much are houses there? But I have never been more disappointed than when I saw the city and state do nothing as they tore down statues of good Americans. Ulysses S. Grant, Francis Scott Key. It was depressing a little bit, but it's time to fight back.
Ken, speaking of that, though, where is the law? Where's law enforcement for the desecration of the property and also the vandalism, etc.? Why aren't there arrests? Why aren't there people paying the price for what they're doing? They're taking things away from the public eye that I, my family, everybody would like to see and admire and appreciate. Why aren't they being arrested?
I think it's politics, and it's primarily politics that you see in the left-leaning cities, right? I mean, I think that Seattle, where they literally took over a section of town, and it wasn't until they had multiple shootings that they decided, hey, maybe actually police are a good idea. I think that the city council there, which hasn't had a Republican on for many, many years, they liked it. President Trump criticized it, so it must be good. It harkened them back to their days in the late '60s when they occupied the dean's office to stop the Vietnam War. Similarly, in San Francisco, I think they're like, well, maybe that Father Junipero Serra was mean to some Indians, so he's got to go. So I think that look, how many statues were pulled down in Idaho in the last week, or Montana, or Iowa, or all of this violence has been going on in Democratic-controlled areas, and I think that they've had a tolerance for it. I think that they're letting some of that happen, whether that's politics of encouraging it or whether it's just the politics of, we don't want to look like we're racist by arresting somebody who burned down a police station. It's certainly politics among those things, because it's look at all the parts of the country that this just isn't happening in, and you start to see a very, very clear pattern.
Okay, Ken, there's another segment of our society I want you to elaborate on, and I can't think of anybody that's more qualified than you to talk about it, and that's the media. Our media is very biased. Our media is very self-centered. Our media picks the winners and the losers, and if it weren't for some exceptions, i.e. Fox News and some other programs, we would be very limited to just one viewpoint on the Democratic liberal side. How are we going to clean up the media and make it more journalistic friendly for the consumer?
Well, look, you didn't know my answer was going to be on this, but I am on Monday launching something called the Media Action Network, and I don't know if I'll stop calling myself a journalist and just jumping into this the whole way. But we're literally launching an advocacy group to do three things. One is continue to expose the left-wing media when they pretend to be objective, right? That we have to continue to do that because they pretend like they're the referees when in fact they're players in the game, and that's radically changed in the last 5 years. Media's always been leaning left, but it hasn't gotten into a full-blown advocacy mode until the last handful of years. The second thing that we're saying we're going to pledge to do is protect those victims that we talked about. Let me give you a small instance. A young gal at Syracuse University was on the newspaper staff there. She wrote in another publication about how she didn't believe that there was systemic racism in law enforcement in America. Of course, they fired her and called her a racist and did all these things. One small thing, but, we're going to make sure that she gets her resume around to other journalists that I know. We're going to buy her a steak dinner for her and her friends. We're going to get 100 or 200 people sending her a note saying, A, you're not a racist, and that was a fine position to hold. And she did a really, it wasn't one of those edgy ones. She did a very rational thing. And B, stay in this profession. Because if we allow the mob to push out a freshman, or I think maybe she's a sophomore at Syracuse University, out of that profession, in 5 years that has impact on it. So protecting the victims. And the third is and this is not a 1 year or 2 year, it's a 5 or 10 year thing. We literally need to build up more of the right leaning media. It is no longer a mainstream, as being honest, and there's a couple conservatives out there. We need to get together, and that means a lot of things, but especially in the internet world where the behind-the-scenes tubes are just as biased. If you're a right person, I mean, I've been banned off. I had 3.5 million followers, and I got banned off of Facebook. Every single day, a small conservative outlet gets banned from one of the socials. We have to be able to be there to help them get back on and to create problems for it, all the way down to the payment processors sometimes turn off the spigot to conservatives that they don't like. The back end ISPs, the internet service providers often do the same, and we kind of need to build up a network of that, and we also need to support people like you. And I worked at Fox for 20 years. I love it, but I also want to see those other OANs and some of the other ones get some traction too, so there's more than one conservative player on TV, because literally right now there's, what do conservatives have? They got, 1.5 channels on TV, some radio, and a handful of internet sites. No newspapers, no TV stations, very other little things. And we need to turn that around, and we need to get in and do it, and we need to stop just, look, I spent so much of my life complaining about the liberal media, and it's time to really, really say how to get in and turn it around bit by bit.
Ken, one final thought. I've only got a couple of minutes left, and I want you to expand on this a little bit. What about your fears, if you have some, for this next election in November with the biased media and the very down with free speech culture? How concerned are you about the election in November?
I am. President Trump, whether you like him or dislike him policy, like him or dislike him personality, he certainly helped out the conservative movement a lot by really, really pointing out the fake news media. And of course he was very ham-handed in the way he did it, and it got a lot of people's attention, and he relentlessly drove that, and I think that's, from a long-term aspect, that's one of the best things that President Trump did for the country was rip off the mask of the fake objectivity that the news media had. They're all working against them, or 95% of them. It's an important election, and I am worried about that, but it's also an election. And we, someday President Trump won't be the president of the United States, and that'll either be next January or at January 4 years from that. We need to care about that election, but we need to build up those upstream things that I talked about. We need to build up that a lot more than just one person as a president or any politician. If we have media that, where is it written in stone that the media has to be liberal?
Right.
It's something you and I grew up with. It's always been. And could you imagine if we were able to pull this off, and over the years, and that'll take money and volunteers and hard work. Imagine if the media was kind of balanced, 50-50 on left and right. What a better discourse we'd be having in this country. We wouldn't have had cities burning. We wouldn't have had blacks thinking that all the cops are racist and are shooting them down because the media gets such anecdotes and explodes them into craziness. The country would be a better place if we had a fair discussion of our public policies, and we don't. I mean, could you imagine living in a world where the media was 50-50? That's my vision.
Absolutely. I wished I had more time, but the clock dictates to me that we have to end this segment, and I'm going to feel bad about that. We have the founder of LaCourte News, Ken LaCourte. You're always welcome on this program. Thank you, sir, and God's blessings on your new venture. I hope all goes well.
Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Very interesting man, and I appreciate him coming on the program. Ken LaCourte with LaCourte News, and we'll have him back on in the future. Right now, I want to remind you about all the fun things that are going to be happening at the Rupert 2020 4th of July celebration of Independence Day. And, of course, the theme this year, Rockin' in the USA, with the Grand Marshals, Charlie and Lori Creason. Main sponsor is PMT. Customer Appreciation Luncheon is going to be on Monday, June 29th, and then Tuesday all the way through the 4th of July. All kinds of different fun things for you and your family. Lots of music on the square, along with all the activities going on at the fairgrounds, like the 3rd annual Mutton Bustin'. That's going to be on Thursday, July 2nd. And on Friday, of course, at the fairgrounds, the world-famous Firecracker 500 lawnmower race. And then on Saturday, the world-famous 4th of July Independence Day Parade at Rupert's 4th of July celebration. Don't you miss it. Going to be great again, as always. Want to quickly tell you about our friends over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. And, boy, I'll tell you what, they've got everything over there for your comfort and the beautification of your home. And you know something else? Everybody needs a great night's sleep. To get up in the morning, feel good, hit the world, and everything just smack dab in the face and have a great day. They've got the Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses and a great selection of those mattresses. You better get in and check it out today, along with all the furniture, all the sofas and the love seats and all the flooring, the carpet and the flooring, along with the recliners. They've got it all for you at a store with people that really know and know how to serve you. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Jeff and the staff at 459 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see Lee's Furniture today. We're going to send it back over to the main studio and be back in just a few moments. Don't you go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you. Quickly, I want to remind everybody on Mondays at 10:30. Don't forget, during the gardening season, Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. All that you need to know about your garden growing and all the success and the chemicals, the bugs, everything. She talks about it on Vicky's Country Garden, the segment at 10:30 on Mondays. You be sure and tune in. Want to also quickly remind you about our friend Doug at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, and this business is for sale, and it may be for you. That's right, it's located at 635 21st Street in Heyburn, and the number to call and find out more information, talk to Doug, 878-4991. It's a turnkey business operation, ready to go. I mean, the beautiful new shop, all the equipment, and Doug will help with the financing along with training the new buyer of the business. You better check it out right now today at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, 635 21st Street in Heyburn. Number again to call, 878-4991. I have no idea what we're going to get into next. It's kind of intriguing to me. We're going to be talking about chickens. And with us on the telephone right now is the author of the book called At Crossroads with Chickens, Tori McCagg. Tori, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Tori, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get rolling. Where do you live? What's going on? How many books have you written? That type of thing.
Well, I live in New Hampshire. We moved up. My husband and I moved up here with 6 chickens and 2 cats in 2012, and that's what the book is about. At Crossroads with Chickens, it's my sort of adaptation, dare I say, to our home, which we call Darwin's View, and getting used to this place as being a city girl. I was moving to the country, and it took a lot of getting used to. And we are living off grid. We run on solar panels. And, so I'm living here. I'm writing. I have one other book out. It's a novel called Bittersweet Manna. And my writing tends to write about home and how important it is.
Well, what's your affection, if you will, for chickens? How did that come about?
Oh, man. Well, it started when I was in the grocery store and trying to decide which of the chickens, the dozen chicken eggs facing me would be Happy Chicken's eggs. And I eventually just got into my head to order some chickens up, and I got 6 chicks. And I'd been told not to name them, and of course I promptly named them. And they grew up into bigger chicks, and Rhoda Red transgendered into Big Red. And Big Red, being a rooster, was not allowed in the Providence city limits. And so we had just finished building the house up here in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. And we had to be sure that the system was going to work. So we brought the 6 chicks, 2 cats, and ourselves up here for the winter. And that's how I ended up getting the chickens.
They've
ruled my life.
I'm sitting here kind of reading some of the information sheets about chickens, and you've got things on these 2 pages I never even dreamed about asking about. You've kind of put a personality profile together about chickens and their mental capabilities and everything else. Talk a little bit about the book and tell us what's in the book.
Well, it's actually, there's a number of different themes in the book. The chickens sort of keep the forward motion going, and Carl's and my moving up here and slowly dividing our place between Providence, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. And with time, it became more here. So those are 2 of the themes. Then there's the theme of my mother, who has Parkinson's, advanced Parkinson's, and her slow demise, or onward travels down, and paralleling that with our Earth and the damage we've done to our Earth and how we have to start healing her. And so it's sort of those 4 themes intermingled. And it's all a quest for home, and it's living off-grid and getting used to chickens.
So you must have sat down some afternoon a long time ago before you wrote this book, and you started studying the personality of chickens and studying what they did, and then you kept notes on all this. Is that how the book came about?
It was actually from a blog. So in 2012, I started a blog in December when we moved up here about life up here with chickens, and that's my research into chickens has been purely my experience with our chickens, and I knew enough to look up that they need food and grit and water and warmth when they're little chicks, and since then it's been sort of an ad hoc kind of experience, and they've taught me all about bumblefoot and egg boundedness and all other kinds of things like that.
Okay, whoa. You use the term bumblefoot. What in the world are you talking about, Tori?
I pity anybody who has to do with it. Basically, sometimes if they get a wound in their claw underneath, it becomes sort of this scabby thing, and it becomes infected, and the infection can go up into their feet and legs, and basically they die of it. So you really have to catch it early on. I think early on I was naive enough to, I think she ended up dying of bumblefoot. And then I've had a couple, this last year we had a bunch of them had something was going on, but now they're all happy and healed and scampering around.
Now, what kind of an audience are you relating to as far as people buying this book? I mean, who's it geared to?
I think it's geared for just sort of, it's a memoir, so people who enjoy memoirs. It's a sort of people who like chickens. You will learn about chickens and realize that, no, they, of course, are not
equivalent to humans, but they do have personalities, and they are quirky little people souls, not people souls, that was a misspeak, but they're quirky creatures, and they're fun, and off-grid living, and the hiccups one comes up against when one is living off-grid. And so it's a thoughtful, meditative book, and about gardening and just living life in an ad hoc way.
Now, you mentioned, help me if I say this wrong, but did you say you are in currently New Hampshire? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, give us a little information about the area that you live in. Is it a rural area? Is it fairly close to a major city? Talk to us a little bit about the environment that you have your farm and your chickens on.
Yeah, I live in the Monadnock region, so we have a full-on view of Mount Monadnock, which is is second to Mount Fuji in being the most climbed mountain in the world. Because it is accessible and people seem to think it's not a mountain, they climb it. But it is a mountain. We live near Keene, New Hampshire is probably the biggest town near us, which is, it's a small city. And it's fairly well developed. My friends in Providence would say this is definitely rural, but we go 5 or 6 miles and we're into, small towns, Peterborough and such.
I see. Now, you mentioned on the information sheet that you really need to make the chicken coops because of the predators, and I'm sure it's no different out here in Idaho, make them predator-proof, right? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have, and even if the coop isn't predator-proof, can't talk. We had 2 chickens taken out by hawks. We had 4 chickens recently taken out by a bobcat. We have fisher cats around here, although gratefully I have not heard a fisher cat. So, especially at night, the creatures will get in there, raccoons, weasels, you name it. And if it's not really foolproof, you will not have chickens in the morning, and you might come up with a really ugly scene when you open the door.
One of the things that I kind of smiled at when I read it, you said in one of the paragraphs on the sheet, it says, hang out with your chickens. What do you mean by that?
They're like you are a television to them, and they are television to us. They're just fun to watch. They go streaking over across the yard chasing a grasshopper, or they are in a dust bowl and throwing dust up in the air, and then they go into what I call corpse pose, because they look like they've just had a heart attack or something, and they're all crunched up, and actually they're just basking in the sun and enjoying the dust bath. And they definitely have their pecking order. If you've heard of a pecking order, it exists.
What amazes me is, has there ever been anybody else that has written a book about the personalities, the lifestyles, and spending time in your free moments with chickens, or are you the first?
I would have no idea. I should actually research that. That's a great question. I know there are books out there that I'm not going to come up with off the top of my head. I know that there are definitely blogs out there about chickens, and chickens are becoming more and more popular, and so these things are becoming more and more happening. Actually, The Egg and I, years ago, was a book by a woman whose name I'm not going to remember, but it was all about her chickens, and I read it a while ago. But yeah, I can't answer that question, but it's a good one. I'll have to check it out.
Let me ask you this, Tori. Are other people picking up on what you're doing and writing about, and are more people being in your area more involved with chickens?
I think that, especially because of the COVID virus that's going around, people are taking on more chickens because they want that kind of security and sustainability potential. Of having food, be it for eggs or meat. So I do think that it's becoming, the hatcheries are full-on busy. And so I think more and more people are taking them on. And I just, at many levels, I hope they know what they're in for, especially if they order all females. Because I ordered all females, and I got a boy, and my life has dramatically changed as a result.
How many chickens do you have now, Tori?
Right now we have 12.
12. And are you...
And I'll give you another little tidbit. This past year we had 5 roosters. We now have no roosters, and not because we put any of them down. We rehomed 3 of them to an animal sanctuary where they didn't last 2 days because they flew over the fence and were not cock-a-doodle-dooing a couple of days later. And anyway, and then the bobcat visited.
It's refreshing for me to talk to you about this because I got to tell you, I've been in the horse and cattle business almost all my life, and I don't know one doggone thing about chickens, and that's why I'm sitting here kind of with my mouth wide open, not knowing really what to ask about.
Well, they are like any animal. They're a responsibility. They need food, warmth when they're little, food, water. Chickens need grit to get into their gizzards so that it can crunch up the food. They're social creatures. I've never worked with horses or cattle, but I assume they are herd animals. So I assume they have some sort of interactive abilities. Common sense. Sometimes it's not so rampant in the area of animals, but they add to the excitement of having them.
Well, tell us a little bit about the book as far as where can people find it. And again, why don't you give us the full title of the book, please? Go ahead.
Sure. It's called At Crossroads with Chickens, a What If It Works adventure in off-grid living and quest for home. And you can get it preferably at your local bookstore or at www.bowenpublishing.com. That's the publisher, and they're wonderful. Or online. But again, I really like to support local businesses. So if you have a local bookstore, that would be great. You can just ask for At Crossroads with Chickens, and it should come up there.
I'm never going to look at another chicken again for a long time and not remember you and your name. Tori McCagg, God bless you for being on the program, and good luck with your chickens.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
All right. Take care. Thank you. I tell you what, I never thought in my life when I saw this come across my desk that I'd have a segment on chickens. And my son got involved with chickens up in Nampa at his place where he's got his horses and everything else. And he talks about his chickens the same way that lady does. I mean, they almost became part of the family up there. And she talks about the chickens have got to have grit and they've got to get their exercise and you got to make the coop like Fort Knox and you got to sit down and be personable and friendly with your chickens. I know. I can't believe I had that on the air, but I did. And a nice lady, Tori McCagg, with a book called At Crossroads with Chickens. Hey, I know a great place to go eat, and I urge you to stop in and say hello to these folks. Edith's Cafe at 144 East Highway 81 in Burley. My, oh my, oh my. I mean, they've got menu choices and selections there that'll knock your boots off, including that barbecued brisket sandwich. That is so good. You'd better get on in there today. They're open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 9, and they do catering, and I'm telling you, they've just done some great remodeling on the location. For more information, why don't you just give them a call? Stop in and enjoy a great meal at Edith's Cafe. The number 878-2248. They're located again at 144 East Highway 81 in Burley. Remember, Edith's Cafe. Wow, the weather has warmed up, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for the next couple of days. I heard Gina say earlier that it's going to probably be up into the 90s, so drink a lot of water out there, and we're going to find out more about that weather in just a second. Our weather brought to you this hour by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number to call, 324-7657. Here's what I would also suggest. Go to the website. Excuse me. Go to the website, Hay Fever Season, and check out scarrowsmeats.com. Absolutely delicious meats for every occasion. They've got all your hams and your pork chops and your different flavored bacons and, of course, all the bratwurst. Everything is absolutely fantastic. Tri-tips, you name it, it's there at Scarrow's Meats. Once again, give them a call, 324-7657. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Warmer temperatures and sunny skies. Here's a look at your weather forecast for today. It is going to be sunny, and we are expecting a high of 92. Now, if you're going to be working outside and on the blacktop, it's going to be a little bit warmer than that. Not much of a breeze to speak of for tonight. We do have a slight chance of rain, showers, and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies. That means it's going to be muggy out there. Low of about 62, and winds are going to be picking up with this thunderstorm moving through. Winds could gust as high as 22 miles an hour. For tomorrow, 30% chance of rain showers in the morning hours, partly sunny by the afternoon, high of 85. Mostly clear for tomorrow night with a low of 55. By Friday, sunny skies, high of 87. Saturday, sunny and 92. Sunday, again, slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with a high of 78. That's a look at your weather for 7.
Oh, my goodness sakes. I tell you, that's summertime the way we should enjoy it right there. Sounds like a great forecast. Don't forget, brought to you by Scarrow's Meats. Don Scarrow and his entire operation, man, they are there to serve you with the best and most delicious of meats at 331 North Road, Jerome. Again, that telephone number, I urge you to give them a call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time at Scarrow's Meats. I have time for another phone call. Give me a jingle on the landline. I'd love to hear from you at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The fear, again, that they're trying to raise and elevate about the coronavirus is ramping up with Dr. Fauci and some of the others saying that, we may have a second big wave of the virus. And then we hear different governors, including Inslee over in Washington, saying that you will, here's the key word, you will wear a mask inside and outside. And my question is, why? And no, you won't force me to wear a mask. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but if I willingly, and I do, wear a mask when I go into a grocery store or some other business out of respect for others and also protecting myself, but I'm not going to be told that I have to wear a mask. I'm not going to be told that I have to wear a mask outside. Caller, what are your thoughts on this? Give me a thought on that or two.
Well, there's so much evidence that says it doesn't do any good.
That's right.
And so then why do it? And so, but you see, there's so much conflicting reporting and evidence, and the authorities don't even disagree. I mean, don't even agree. The ones who are front and center all agree because they're all, literally, again, it's all about getting rid of Trump. That's all it's ever been about. And, but you see, what's happening in these states like Washington. My son lives in Spokane, and this kind of thing. In a 1 month period, his business, he said, let's just say it was 6 weeks. He says, I lost over $100,000 worth of potential income.
Wow.
And I said, I just don't know how you survive it. You see? And it's your son. I've said it a million times, I have 11 kids, and they all, in some way or another, are being affected by this, and you worry.
We cannot have, nor should we, another shutdown. We have got to get through this. Medical science has got to prevail. We've got to find answers for this because economically, to be stable for the rest of the world, for the rest of time, we will not get another shot at this. Randy, I've got another call. I've got to wrap up the show, but thank you for calling in. Appreciate it. Caller, real fast, please. You're on the air.
Well, if you have to get permission from the government, you don't have any rights.
You got it, buddy. And I don't know about you, but outside, and people are saying, well, if you're outside, you have to wear a mask if you're with this many people or that many people in this circumstance or whatever. No, I will not wear a mask.
Well, outside they said the UV rays from the sun kills it almost immediately.
You're going to be having more contaminants, I think, go into your system and cause more problems for your lung and any kind of a culture of a disease by wearing a mask continually and absorbing the same things into your body all the time.
That's why your body's exhaling that to get rid of it.
You got it. You got it.
Yep.
Doug, appreciate it. I got one more call. Thank you very much. Caller, quickly, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Weren't we also told that it wouldn't survive the summer, that warm weather killed this virus?
There's a lot of things we've been told. And, Sean, again, I got a little feedback here. It's just I can't hardly hear the caller, please. We were told so many things about the coronavirus, but honestly, caller, I wonder how much they really do know. Underline the word know.
Yep, that was my point. Thanks, Zeb.
God bless you, man. Thank you much. Appreciate it. That's going to wrap it up and put it back in the box for today. Tomorrow, of course, being Thursday, we've got Cassia County School Days, Business Salute. We've got the Chamber Report with Penny. All kinds of things tomorrow on the program, including some great guests like Dr. Gerard Lamero. Don't forget to tune in at 8:06. We'll saddle the horse and ride for 3 hours right here at Zeb at the Ranch. I hope you and yours have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless.